Have you ever wondered when firefighters go into a burning building to find and rescue people, help others, what happens if the firefighters get in trouble? Who's there to rescue the firefighters? Well, obviously it will be other firefighters, but we actually have a very specific plan in place as a contingency in case something goes very wrong. On my last shift, we had a structure fire at a townhome, and I was placed on that firefighter rescue team. And I'm going to explain to you why we do it and how it works. So the fire that we got called to was a structure fire in a townhome. It was a 3-story townhome, and it was a threeplex. There was 3 units side by side, unit A, B, and C. I was running on our squad truck that night, which is, it's kind of like a mini fire engine, a little 2-person fire engine. And I was stationed out of the same fire hall as our main fire engine. So the structure fire was in our response area. We followed the engine to the scene. I wanted to let, even though the squad truck is perhaps a few seconds faster, I wanted to let the captain get on scene first so that he could do his size up and set up his whole plan. You can check out some of our previous videos on what an incident commander will do when he arrives on a scene, how he sizes that up. We got on scene. The front door was open to that middle unit. There was smoke coming out of it. Medium amount of smoke, so this fire was not rocking, but we definitely had a working structure fire. He immediately assigned the 2 firefighters in the back of his engine to be his attack team. He was setting up for an offensive attack, meaning he was going to send those firefighters in to action that fire. Right after doing that, he assigned me and my partner in the squad truck to RIT. RIT is an acronym that stands for our Rapid Intervention Team. Sometimes it's called a RIC, Rapid Intervention Crew, but in my jurisdiction we call it RIT, Rapid Intervention Team. This is a team of no less than 2 firefighters that are assigned on every single fire we go to for the express purpose of rescuing or helping a firefighter if a firefighter gets in trouble. So we are assigned RIT. What are our first steps? Well, we've got a crew that's going into an unknown situation, especially because some of the information we were given from our dispatcher is that this fire started from an explosion. So you already know, okay, there's something maybe abnormal about this fire. It's true that fires do often start from explosions, but that's not a normal thing that happens in people's homes, right? As opposed to, oh, this fire started because I left a candle unattended, for example. Okay, so the first thing we do is my partner grabbed our RIT bag. Now, what our Rapid Intervention Team bag is you know those air packs that we wear on our backs? It's a similar type thing. It has an SCBA, a self-contained breathing apparatus within it, and it's in almost like a duffel bag. It has a rope, a 250-foot rope, which we then use to attach to the outside of the structure if we need to go in to rescue someone so we can find our way out. And then it's got some miscellaneous tools like some wire cutters. Let's say a firefighter gets tangled in wires or something like that. So the first thing we do is we grab that RIT bag. Now, if a firefighter gets in trouble, we have extra air that we can bring to them if they're running low on air, or if they're lost or disoriented, we are going to clip that rope to a fixed object outside the structure. We're going to go in and find them, and we're going to follow that rope out and lead them to safety. So the first thing we do is we grab that RIT bag. My partner grabbed the RIT bag. I grabbed the irons. As I've explained before, the irons is a combination of tools used very frequently in the fire service. It consists of a flathead axe and a Halligan tool. And that Halligan tool is similar to a firefighter crowbar. We will use it for forcible entry. So you can either use it for striking or for prying in combination with one another. So if a firefighter needs help and he's near a locked door, we can walk around, let's say, to the back side of the house. We can break that door down. We can help him get out. Once we've got our RIT bag and our irons, those are kind of our bare minimum tools that we get right from the get-go. I can't remember the exact statistic, but I think it's like 80 or 90% of Mayday calls, which is a firefighter in distress call, happens within the first 15 minutes of a fire. So if something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong right at the start. That's when there's the most unknowns. That's when we have the least amount of firefighters on scene. That's when we're trying to make a rescue. If there's a rescue, a viable rescue to be made, that's when the firefighters are taking risks. Once you're 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into the fire, firefighters can still get hurt, but those injuries and unfortunately those deaths, they'll more often come from things such as fatigue or building collapse. Those are all sorts of things that we should be evaluating and monitoring. That first 10, 15 minutes, it's go time, and guys are working hard, and sometimes they're taking extra risks if we can help save somebody. So we're grabbing that rip bag, we're grabbing those irons. Now we've got what we need to jump in and make a rescue if we need to. After that, we started doing a 360. We want to do our own walk of the building to make sure that there are no hazards that our incident commander has missed or that something hasn't changed, right? So if I'm walking around the backside of the building and I see fire coming out of a basement on a house, this townhome was a 3-level walk up, it didn't have a basement. But if I had a house that I saw fire coming out of the basement, immediately I would want to let the incident commander and our crews know, hey, we got a fire in the basement. Maybe someone missed that. That can be a very dangerous situation to the firefighters. We do that 360. The other thing I'm looking for on my 360 is I'm looking for the natural gas shutoff, especially on this fire where it started with an explosion. I don't know what caused that explosion, but natural gas can explode. So I made it around to the, what I'm going to call the Delta side. So front of the building is Alpha. If I'm looking at it from the street, front is Alpha, left side is Bravo, back of the building is Charlie, and right side would be Delta. On the Delta side, I found the bank of gas meters. I immediately turned that gas off. We want to make sure that we don't know exactly what caused that explosion. We don't know what the source of that fire is. But if it was natural gas related, we want that gas shut off so that it's not getting worse. Once we finish that walk around, the next thing I did is I worked on a secondary means of egress. And this is all happening just one after the other as our crews are going in to fight this fire. So a secondary means of egress is, as it sounds, it's us as the RIT team creating a second way for firefighters to exit the structure, different from how they entered if something goes bad. So in this case, we had a multi-level structure. We had a three-story structure. So it made most sense for me to set up a ladder to a second-story window. If our firefighters action the fire and have to go upstairs to do a search or to action more fire, well, what happens if their egress gets cut off? What happens if something unforeseen happens? What happens if it's an arson and there's actually multiple fire sets throughout the structure? If you're going to an arson fire, it can be confusing because you can think, hey, okay, I've actioned this fire, we've got it out. You're not expecting there to be another fire on a second floor, but if someone's trying to burn a house down, they're going to set fires in multiple locations. So for all those reasons, I chose to set up a ladder on a second-story window. That means that if those firefighters get up there and they're in trouble, they know they have a second way out if their main egress was blocked off. If we are on a rancher or something like that, it might be as simple as me making sure the back door is unlocked. Or if it's locked, I'll force that door open, keep it closed to not alter the flow path, but make sure that that door is unlocked in case firefighters need to get out or we need to get in. Once that secondary means of egress is set up, we then start to build out the rest of our tool crib. And we just make a collection of various forcible entry tools that we might need if a rescue is to be performed. So that can be chainsaws or K12 saws, rotary gas saws, stuff like that. A sledgehammer, whatever. And we'll tailor that tool crib to the structure that we are at, right? If it's a residential structure, wood frame structure like we were at on my last shift, then we're going to use chainsaws, right? The chainsaws are excellent tools to force entry into a wood frame structure. But if we're at a commercial building, let's say a concrete tilt-up or a masonry building, we're going to be make sure we have that gas rotary saw, even a sledgehammer to break through masonry. Once that is complete, we are then checking back in with command and we are doing periodic 360s around the building. We are also doing our best to monitor who's in that structure, where are they? So we're listening to the radio. If we've got 2 crews in there, we're trying to keep an eye on, okay, The attack team is on the first floor, the search team's on the second floor. So if we get a mayday call, if a firefighter calls for help and he says, hey, I'm search one, I'm in trouble, and that's all he gives us, I can already know, okay, I know search one, they're on the second floor, they're at the Charlie side, we're going to bring our ladder around to the Charlie side, we're going to get these guys out. So that's a brief summary of what happens on an actual fire and what we do, what plans we put in place to keep firefighters safe. It's called a rapid intervention team. I got to be on that team on my last structure fire the other night, and thankfully there was no incident. The guys put the fire out efficiently. They overhauled it. No one was hurt. No one was injured. No civilians were hurt. It was a good fire as far as that goes, but we have that plan in place in case things go wrong.